Let's talk about grit. You know, grit can mean different things. Grit can mean what sandpaper feels like. It's measured in grit. Grit can be what it feels like to have sand in your shorts. Now that's gritty. Grits can be a breakfast that's kind of like oatmeal. But grit can mean that you're tough when nobody expects it. So grit isn't this guy hiking up a hill. Grit is when this girl can climb a mountain using nothing but her hands and feet. Grit is this zebra holding its own against the lion, because remember, grit is being tough when nobody expects it. You want a good example of grit? Take the humble egg. Really, not kidding, the egg. You may have seen our video of the egg versus the bowling ball at Christmas. Can we really say that eggs are an example of grit? They're delicate, they're fragile. Ooh. You separate them in cartons so that they don't crack. In fact, forget bowling balls. What would happen if you stepped on a carton of eggs? Splatsville, right? Well, let's have a look. We got eggs and we got feet. Let's do this. Are you surprised? What did we say that grit was? It's being tough when nobody expects it. You know, God calls you to live a gritty life. My daughter and I were reading the book of 1 Peter this past month, and in church, we're going to be reading through that book all summer. Peter was writing to God's people who were facing some really hard times. It was difficult to be tough. So he tells them, God's Spirit living in you gives you the grit that you need. So Peter and a lot of other Bible writers use words like steadfast, faithful, dedicated, firm. Those are grit words. So God's Spirit allows you to do things that just aren't easy, like forgiving other people, like standing up for what's right, like having hope when bad things happen. God's gonna work in surprising ways this summer to make us gritty so that we can follow Him and bless others. I can't wait to see how God is going to work in us this summer and make us gritty, trusting in Him in surprising ways.